Hey guys, good evening. Today we have a new friend, Nitin, joining us uh, to this particular beautiful series called Beautiful Minds. As all of you know, that we have some beautiful minds out here in this show to showcase what they're doing differently. So Nitin is an author. He is also a coach who is training a lot of other psychologists, coaching them to conduct right session. How do they handle mental health issues for their patients? And he is also the CEO of Institute of Clinical Hypnosis and Relative Sciences. So thanks a lot, Nitin, for joining us today on this show.
Thank you, Ravi, for having me here today. Pleasure.
Thank you, Nitin. People want to know about Nitin, and how did you get into this passion?
Okay, so I was born and brought up in Indore. I have completed my graduation in Indore, and then being the only child, my parents kind of threw me out of the house. That you get everything on a platter over here, you need to go out and live for yourself. And that's how I came to Bombay for my graduation. Uh, while I was pursuing my graduation, I was basically under the opinion that I would go back to Indore once I've completed my education.
Mhm.
But I happened to meet someone, and then I wanted to stay in Bombay for that particular person. And everything that followed in my life after that was basically a result of the same. Uh, I did my BCom, I did my law for the purpose that I wanted to stay in the hostel, and the nearest college next to my hostel was a law college. So that's the reason I took up my law. And then I completed my CS because my parents said that law, Akela, why are you doing only law? You need to do something with that. So I did a lot of things as far as my education qualifications are concerned, but I was really doing them only because I wanted to stay in Bombay at that point of time. There was really no other reason for that. Uh, the relationship kind of hit a bit of a roadblock because we come from completely different religions.
Mhm.
And then that's when I started searching for certain answers in terms of what is happening, why is it happening, and how I can influence and manage my life better. And that's where I got into this field where I wanted to explore more about the mind and how the mind works. And does the mind have a potential to help me create the kind of life that I wanted to create? In my case, the answer was, does it have the potential to help me get married to the girl that I wanted to get married to? Right now, and that's how I got into this field. I started exploring about the mind. Uh, I became very curious. I started researching more and more. I then had a conversation with one of my professors in the college
Mhm.
who got to know about my entire situation, and he sat and he had a good 3 hour discussion with me. And that's when he realized that my understanding of the mind seems to be quite good as per him. Uh, and then he recommended a course to me that Nitin, there's this course on hypnosis that I really think you should do. You will enjoy that. And that's how I got into the field of hypnosis. And once I got into it, there was no looking back. Then I knew this is what I am going to do.
Superb. So completely different, from law to hypnosis, completely different transformation.
Yeah, it was. But as I said, for me, law and CS was more about a reason to stay in Bombay. Right. So if you would have asked me why am I doing it, that would have been my answer would have been to pass my time. Uh, when I got into hypnosis, that's when I really realized how much I enjoy both learning it and talking about it, and not just hypnosis. So when I did my courses are about becoming a therapist, right?
Hmm.
But by the time I finished my initial level, I knew that I want to become a trainer. I would continue doing therapy because I think that's important for me to be an effective trainer. That's what I'm training people into. But by the end of level one, I knew that this is the field that I want to take up. I want to become a trainer. And if you would have asked my friends that Nitin wants to become a trainer, they would have laughed at you because
Correct.
I was literally a loner. I had like in my entire hostel days, I had 3 friends. Okay, so it's been a huge journey, but that journey, as I said, to a large extent has been because of one relationship, and then things just worked out the way they worked out.
So for a layman, what is hypnosis? If I don't know, all we know is about hypnotism. But what is the term hypnosis, and what does this module include as a training program which you underwent?
Okay, so to understand hypnosis, it's important to understand how we have problems in our life. So I'm going to give you like a one-liner to help you understand that, and then probably in another line I'll explain to you what hypnosis is. I'm sure you've had an experience where you wanted to wake up in the morning. In the night, you had put an alarm. Morning, the alarm rang and you put it on snooze. And while you were putting on snooze, you had two voices in your head. One voice telling you, Ut ja, wake up, you are getting late. And another voice telling you 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Right? We have all experienced this.
Right.
Now, if you think of it, consciously you wanted to wake up, and that's the reason you put up the alarm. In the morning, almost on an autopilot, you are putting the alarm on snooze. So would it be fair to say that a part of you consciously, that is the conscious, wanted to wake up, but another part of you that was controlling your automatic behaviors ensured that you don't wake up? This is like a conflict between two parts of us, one conscious, one unconscious. And hypnosis is a process to create an alignment between the conscious and the unconscious. So tomorrow morning, if you want to wake up, you can use hypnosis to ensure that you give a suggestion to your mind. Tomorrow morning when the alarm rings, your first thought is, chal uthte maza aayega.
Okay.
So in simplistic language, that's what hypnosis is. If I kind of sidetrack all the drama that's connected to the entire process. In terms of experience, different people experience it different ways. But for most people, at least in the initial session, they will experience deep relaxation.
Now I get it well. So it's basically you're tuning your decision making to the right steps which you will take.
You are tuning your automatic responses to the decisions that you have taken consciously.
Got it. Wow, this is nice. So how did you get into the passion of training others and training the psychologists and getting the systematic? I really like the way what you're doing, because there might be a lot of psychologists passing out, and they might be passing out from different cities, different colleges, some government colleges, some private institutes. So I'm sure that there's no process included. I mean, there should be some external body which is setting up the process. This is the right way to do it. These are the best practices. So I really like the idea of what you're doing. So how did you get into this passion of, and how's the journey with your passion till date?
So when I underwent the training program myself, at that point of time, as I said, I was just curious about the mind. That was my reason for doing the course. I ended up liking it a lot, and I love talking about it. So that's the reason I initially thought that probably training would be a good idea, because one, I know the subject, I'm good at explaining it, and I love talking about it. So kind of the three things came together. Why practitioners? So the reason was quite simple, that by the time I finished my training, I realized that, like you said, there are a lot of people who are getting trained as practitioners in psychology and so on, but most colleges are not practice driven. They are more concept driven. And there's a huge gap between people being able to understand the concepts and they being able to apply it with their clients. As I said, I am really curious about understanding how the mind works. So when I would have interactions with these psychologists, psychiatrists about how the mind works, and when they are asking me questions, it will also make me think in lines in which I would not be able to think when a normal person asks me about, Nitin, okay, I want to quit smoking. How do I quit smoking? Now that's a more straightforward answer to a non-practitioner, but for a practitioner, they want to get into nitty-gritty of everything, right? And that would force me to think more and explore more. So I got into training practitioners because that's my way of learning more and more. When I started training practitioners, I realized that the feedback that we were getting was phenomenal, simply because we were teaching them a step-by-step practical process that they had not learned even after years of completing their masters and so on. So obviously there was also a positive influence that we were able to create in the lives of other people, right? And once that happened, that's just continued after that, and we have found more and more ways of incorporating more techniques in our program. So initially we began with hypnosis. Now we have incorporated a lot of other processes into the mix, and we have found better, easier, faster ways of working with people. So I think that kind of is why I'm still in the field that I'm in.
That's also important, because the amount of time the people are spending when they come to psychologists is very less. So, a process might take X number of visits, and if that can be cut down, it makes it very easy for the, clients who are coming and visiting you.
Yeah.
So
It does. And as I said, see, for me, while truly speaking, for me, that's a bonus. I'm in this field because I love learning about it. And this is my way of learning by interacting with more and more practitioners. Now, in the process, the practitioners learn and I make money. That's like, uh,
true. So can you also talk about your foundation? You're also running some support functions. So when did that take birth, and how is it going?
so after we started conducting these programs, because we were connected with a lot of practitioners, they asked us that if they can have an opportunity to work with us, right? Uh, and we had always wanted to do something. When I say we, it's me, my wife, and so I eventually got married to the person that I wanted to get married to,
Oh,
and then the other
congrats.
people who have in our team, right? So all of us had this idea that our courses are quite expensive, um, but we want a way to give back to society. The way we thought it is possible is to connect with other NGOs which are in the area of mental health, so that our trained practitioners can work with them. The practitioners get more hands-on experience. We can mentor them properly, and there are people who are receiving help from practitioners who are properly trained, right? So that's the reason why we were looking at a system where we can connect with other NGOs. Uh, we did not want it to be like on a profit base, and that's the reason why we decided to set up a completely different foundation, which is now the NGO wing of ICHARS. And under that wing, we do a lot of things. Almost everything that we do over there is either free or highly subsidized. We have these weekly talk it out groups that happen every Saturday. These are for normal people who are facing emotional issues but not yet are ready to reach a mental health practitioner. We have these support groups that we have for psychologists, where every Tuesday we mentor them, we guide them in terms of whatever challenges they are facing. And then we tie up with other NGOs where we are working with them for their practitioners, or we are offering them our students as their practitioners who can work with clients in those organizations. So the foundation is, in short, about creating a sustainable mental health environment where the NGOs that we work with don't get dependent on us. We train the people in NGOs who can then take the work forward and reach out to more and more people.
That's more sustainable. Yeah, I agree with you. Instead of they approaching every time, seeking your help, I think this is more sustainable. Good idea.
Right.
I like that. So, what are the category of mental health issues, or challenges or questions or support help that you receive as a team, as an organization? What are the common challenges?
See, so as an organization, uh, you can think of what we do in terms of three different verticals, right? One is training therapists and coaches. These are like, a lot of them are probably trained therapists themselves, psychologists themselves who've been practicing for years, but are now looking at additional tools to be able to enhance their practices and reduce the duration in which they are able to take therapies, right? So that's when they approach us. We have a very comprehensive program for them. I may be biased. I am the one who has created that program, but in my opinion, that's probably the most comprehensive program for therapists you will come across, not just in India but worldwide. And I think, while I may be biased, I can say that with complete confidence. Um, then we take one-to-one sessions at personal level. So each of our trainers also take private consultations. Today, most of the consultations that we take are referred to us by our own students. When, for example, there is a psychiatrist who has been trained by us but does not really have the time to work with clients in terms of therapies, then they may refer clients to us. There may be other students who have got stuck at a particular case and they will refer cases to us. So I personally don't really take new clients directly. I generally take it as referrals from our students, but we have other people in the team who also take direct clients. We work with all kinds of issues which are related to mental health. Some issues we will work by ourselves, and some we will work in coordination with other practitioners. So, for example, if there's someone who's under psychiatric medicines, so we will speak to the psychiatrist and we will have a we can add our services to it,
Got
right?
it.
And there are places where we do sessions directly if it's not reached a disorder kind of a state. And lastly is the NGO work that I've already spoken to you about that we do. Uh, this is like the long and short of the work that we are doing. Uh, We plan to come up with a mobile app very soon and so on. But so those are like plans for the future.
Super. So that's more of a helpline where people can connect with you or connect with one of your team members easily. Super.
It's both a helpline and it's also a self-help tool, because like the way we work, we have everything very structured and step by step, and it's reaching a stage where a lot of work can be done if you have a well-defined system, right? And that's what we want to do with probably, and with artificial intelligence, that will probably become easier for us. So an app that is for mental health with some additions of artificial intelligence can probably be very useful in our understanding.
Super. All the best with that. So when did this, being an author, come into your life?
So, all right. So while I was going through my experiences with exploring hypnosis, remember I got into this field because I wanted to get married to the girl that I wanted to get married to, right? And with the journey that I was having myself, in terms of the things that I learned, the way things worked out for me, even before I got married to her, I knew that once I get married to her, this has to get converted into a book. So the idea of a book was like 10 years back, right? It's just that once I got into this field, we initially got busy with the work that we started and so on. And then I wanted the book to be like really good. So I kept doing and redoing the book till I realized that it can't get better than that now. Now this is as good as it can get. And then eventually we released the book last year. Yeah, but that book was there. The day I got married, I knew this is supposed to be converted into a book.
Super. So who selected the title?
I selected the title. So the title again, so when I got into this field, as I said, for me, the reason I was so curious about learning about mind is because I kept hearing people telling me about destiny and I literally had people around me who were into palmistry or who were into astrology telling me that it's not in your destiny to get married to her. And I would keep questioning this concept between destiny and choice, right? And that's where the title of the book came from, Destiny of Choice. And my entire learning in terms of all these years is basically converted into that book. Though that book is more interesting than I'm putting it across right now, because that book really talks about my journey with Misbah in terms of relationship. So for any of you who are into romantic books, you would love that book. And for those of you who are looking for self-help in terms of a storyline, okay, I think you would appreciate what we have done with that book.
Okay. So anytime during the book, or when the book was getting built and you were writing it, did your wife, your better half, I'm sure she is the main lead role over there in the book. So did she have any reservation saying that ये क्यों लिखे हो? This you don't mention this? ऐसा कुछ conversations or debates हुए थे?
नहीं हुए थे actually, because the book is completely from my point of view.
Okay.
So Misbah's story in the book. So Misbah is obviously the central character in the book, but her character is based on my experiences of what I was going through with respect to her. In the book, actually, we have not mentioned anything about her point of view.
Okay.
That decision we have left to Misbah. Whenever she wants to write a book from her point of view, she can very well go ahead and do that. I would be very interested in reading that point of view myself.
Wow.
So
yeah, for the people, audience who are watching this is the book cover, Destiny of Choice by Nitin Shah. It talks about self-help guide based on a true love story. So, बहुत दिनों के बाद सुन रहा हूँ ये true love story based on a true love story. So, yeah, this is available in Amazon and the Kindle version. So, feel free to pick this up, go through it. So if you're a book lover and somebody is going through a similar thing, I'm sure there are a lot of youth out there who are in a similar journey, whether inki shaadi hogi nahi, and there are a lot of influence. Nitin made a very good point. There's a lot of influence of astrologers and others saying that ye nahi ho sakta, this will not work out. So maybe this is the book which should be read in those situations. I'll personally recommend anybody who has this particular thing with respect to religion, caste, or status, or anybody who feels that based on astrology or vastu or whatever it is that ye nahi ho sakta, I think this is a good book for them. Good,
So
right, Nitin? I mean, sharing an experience is good, but recording it and making it available for others who can take help from this is really remarkable. Good one.
thank you. So also one more thing, the when you spoke about the title, so again the idea for us was never to discredit any of these fields in terms of astrology or palmistry or so on. The only point of view that we have put forward is that while they can predict what they can predict, there's always an element of choice that you have.
True.
Right? So don't let anyone overrule that choice. And I think that's probably what changed my life. And I'm sure it can change the lives of a lot of other people.
True. True. I'm on a similar page. So, so I can relate to what you're saying. But yeah, true. A lot of things might be right, might not work out in future, but, it's your choice. You have to make the choice. Good one. So, Nitin, we have some rapid fire questions so that we get to know you well. We almost know you and your story. Now, we want to know you well. So, are you all set?
Yeah, all set.
Okay. Who in your life brings in the most joy? I think we know the answer, but it has to be somebody else.
So so it is my wife, but if I have to give an answer apart from my wife, then it will be my parents.
Super. Who had a biggest impact on you as a person, of what you've become?
Uh, my formative years probably made a lot of difference. So if I have to talk about subtle influence, but big, that will be my parents. Out and out influence that is very visible, then it's Misbah.
Okay. What is the most annoying habit that you see in people?
They want to answer even when they don't have an answer.
Okay. just add on. Okay. कुछ ना कुछ बोल देंगे. आप yes बोले तो ना बोल देंगे. They have no reasons why they're saying no.
Which is one plus second. So there is someone, let's say, who's an authority in one area, right? And they're being asked a question about a different area altogether. If you're not an authority in that area, say I'm not an authority, right? You don't have to give an answer only because you are an authority in one area.
True.
And those answers can actually influence people's life very, very negatively. So that's probably, so if there's one thing that still has the potential to irritate me, that is this. When I hear people talking about things that they have no idea about, that kind of.
Okay. What was the most beautiful meeting point in Mumbai where you used to wait for your better half?
Oh, I waited for her everywhere. I waited for her outside her house. I waited for her outside a coffee shop. So in Churchgate, Kolaba, probably there is no place where I have not waited for her.
Bus stop,
Okay?
हर जगह.
Yeah, bus stop, everywhere. So, but if there is one place that I have to say, it used to be outside her house, because when I used to go to her area, I had to be extremely careful about people not finding about me and so on. Oh, so I have, my looks used to change on a daily basis. One day I'll have a mustache, another day I'll have a beard, another day I'll
Oh my God.
be wearing something else altogether. So that was
This
fun.
is like, love story 2.0. Okay, we've not done any of this. ये सभी हम लोग ने we waited in all these locations, but ये तो बहुत, I mean, this is like extreme. Good one.
That used to be a lot of fun.
What
I
what all
remember
things men have to do to ensure that the lady is not getting a bad name and the story is not leaking?
it is at the same time, obviously, then she had her own challenges that she had to overcome. So I'm so sure that she has had to go through a lot because of me. So
Where do you spend most of your free time in a day? Whenever you're free, what do you do? What does Nitin do?
So I'm really interested in learning about websites and technology and so on, right? So if I'm not involved in therapy or training, and if I'm not with Misbah, then probably I'm trying to figure out something or the other that's happening in terms of websites and how to improve the website and develop the website further and so on. So that will be my, yeah, that's one area that I'll spend a lot of time, or football matches.
Got it. Your best friend from elementary school.
In my hometown, I have this family which used to be my neighbor for almost all my time when I was in Indore. So the person over there, Monty, he is my best friend as far as the elementary school is concerned.
Okay. So, people who are who know the value of mental health, they really take care of their own health. But how often do you stay at, past 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to work on something?
See, I do, but the thing is, I will always compensate for it. In the sense, I know that I need 7 hours of sleep on an average, right? 6 to 7 hours of sleep on an average, and I would always take care of that. Now, whether I sleep at 12 and get up at 8, or I sleep at 4 and I get up at 11, that's just a matter of what I am doing. And if at times, especially if I'm working on content development, and you are, in a flow of thought, so you don't want to break it down just for the sake of breaking it down because you want to sleep. But apart from that, I would always take care of my mental health in terms of sleeping. I am not someone who is while I love watching certain shows on Netflix and Amazon Prime and so on, but I don't think that's something that can keep me awake. The only thing that will probably keep me awake is extra work or a football match. And work also because I can't break it because of the flow of thought that I'm in.
Got it. We have some comments rolling in. Adeline is saying, wow, I think to one of the comments earlier. Sirisha, my wife, is saying, Mr. Nitin is blushing the moment he is talking about his better half.
So I've heard this. So we've been married like what, 10 years now, 11 years now. And it's amazing that when I talk about it, I can't see my face when I'm talking, right? So I have actually no idea about it. But people would tell me that, Nitin, when you speak about her, when you talk about her, you still blush. And I'm like, but I'm happy about being with her, right? So
इतना सब कुछ करके you got her, so वो तो रहना चाहिए. You should celebrate the entire life. So what's more important for Nitin, having a great car or a great house, and why?
Great car or a great house? I've never thought of this. Actually, neither, to be true. I'm a lazy bum, so I would prefer to travel in a taxi rather than a car. And
Good decision.
I really, but then again, I think I'm saying not even a house because I know that I have a hometown and then we have our own house over there and so on. So probably at the back of my mind that it doesn't bother me that it's not really a motivation that I want to buy a house of my own. But yeah, at this point, neither. If I have to analyze and give you an answer, probably house will be more important. I think that's where stability comes from. But in my case, that's already taken care of. So,
okay. Did you ever get stuck in a lift?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, what happened?
Nothing. I kind of sat down for a few minutes till the.
You were all alone, is it?
Yeah, I was all alone.
Okay.
So I would have tried banging the door for some time, for 2-3 minutes, and I realized no one is there. So then I kind of sat for some time, and then when I heard someone's noise or so on, so then I banged again, and then they did what they had to do. But this is like way back. This was when I was, when I would be in Indore.
Okay. What's Nitin's guilty pleasure?
Nitin's guilty pleasure is, so it will either be chocolate. Okay. Chocolate sweets, basically you can give me whatever sweets you want to give me. And watching football matches, especially Barcelona.
Okay. Has Nitin saved anybody's life till date? Tricky question. Thoda tricky hai.
Don't know actually, to be true. For example, I can say that yes, there have been people who have suicidal tendency who have come to me for sessions and I've helped them. But truly, did I help them? Or they would have probably found help somewhere else. It's kind of difficult to say. So because of the line of work that I am in, probably I would have, but there is no real way of quantifying it.
Yeah. So I agree with you. It's all about efforts. The result you cannot really measure. I'm sure, there are no cases, then it's, you're indirectly helping them save their life.
Yeah. Also,
and you're building a team. You're building an army where they're also, saving others' life. That's very important.
So in fact, that's one of the other reasons why we are so focused on practitioners. Because when I reach out to people, I can probably reach out to 4 people, 5 people, 6 people in a day. When I have 100 people trained by me, each of them reach out to 6 people, that's 600 people. And then every month we are training new people. So that's how we can reach out to a far larger audience in the long run.
Super. So we're done with the rapid fire questions, Nitin. So your final question is, what is the suggestion you have for mental health? A lot of stuff going on. People have lost jobs. People have a lot of financial issues, a lot of challenges. It's getting hard on mental health, on everybody's emotions, etc. So बहुत सारे families suffer हो रहे हैं. So what is the suggestion you have?
So my suggestion is, please visit a mental health practitioner. And the reason I'm saying this is because almost everyone today is happy about posting quotes on motivation. There are people who are willing to talk about depression. They are willing to talk about mental disorders. They are willing to share those posts. So while there's a lot of conversations happening around mental health, still people are not willing to visit a mental health practitioner. And all those conversations are really not serving all the purpose they need to unless you're willing to visit a mental health practitioner. So if you are in a situation where you feel that you're feeling uncomfortable, go and visit a mental health practitioner. Most mental health practitioners offer the first session is free nowadays. So at least go and have a conversation with them. You will realize whether you need their help, you don't need their help, and see how it goes from there. Also, it's important to look at mental health or mental health practitioners not just from the point of view of a disorder, that I have a problem and I want to cure it. Start consulting a practitioner because you are using it as a prevention, that you want to maintain a healthy mental state so that you are able to take care of yourself, you are able to take care of your family, and that you don't get into a situation where in future you end up having a disorder.
Got it. Yeah, I agree with you. So all the friends who are watching this, don't hesitate. If you have an issue, talk to your family or visit a, mental health practitioner. Ensure you're not delaying that. It is just not cold and cough, which, is taken care by over-the-counter medicines. It's very important you visit them and discuss it out. It need not be very serious. Some of the things can be discussed out and can be sorted out. So don't take it as a disease or something, but give the mental health practitioner to work on you and to support you. So Nitin, you want to talk about the challenge?
Yeah, so few months back we initiated a challenge which is called the Visit MHP Challenge. That challenge is about asking more and more people to join the initiative and make announcements saying that I pledge that whenever I feel any kind of discomfort or I feel I want to do better in my life, I will be willing to consult my mental health practitioner and see how my mental health practitioner can help me. And I can tell you with experience today that we have had people who did not feel anything wrong with them as far as emotions are concerned, but they just wanted to improve their performance in job. And we have been able to help them do that. So just don't look at consulting a mental health practitioner from the point of view of problems. Make a pledge that you will have like you have a personal physician, you'll have a personal mental health practitioner that you will consult with regularly so that they can help you, support you in living a happier, healthier and a more fulfilling life. And Ravi, I would like you to begin by making that pledge that you would be willing to visit a mental health practitioner so that everyone else who's watching can also make that pledge probably in the comments or so.
Yeah. So I pledge that I will visit a mental health practitioner as soon as I feel uncomfortable, I'm feeling uneasy, and it's taking a task on my head or brain, or if I'm having sleepless nights, I'll definitely visit a mental health. I would not shy away, and I would feel free to discuss it with my family or friends, saying that I am feeling uncomfortable and I need help, where you can join me and discussing with a mental health practitioner. I think that would be easy, and I think Nitin, most of the mental health practitioners are also available online. You don't have to go to the clinic. You can do teleconsulting. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with COVID, that has been a big change that's taken place. There is a huge transition in the number of people who are practicing online, and that's a very good transition, I think.
Super. So I've done with my pledge. Did I do it well?
Yeah, perfectly. And I hope everyone else who's watching can also make that pledge. If you could please put it in the comment and make a pledge in the comment saying that you will be visiting a mental health practitioner. That will be great. And Ravi spoke about sleeplessness. That's probably one of the earliest signs that you should consult a practitioner. When you're sleeping too much, you're sleeping too little. And even if you think you're sleeping too little because there's a lot of work, visit a mental health practitioner. If nothing else, they'll help you organize your time better.
Good one. Thank you, Nitin. Thanks a lot for joining on this particular show. So, friends, we'll share the social handles where Nitin is available. Follow his page. He does regular sessions with his coaches, and he's on a talk show. Follow that, and if you need any help, either getting educated, or need help with him or with his team, feel free to connect with him. So thanks a lot, friends. Have a good mental health and sleep well. And yeah, have a great day. Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, everyone, for being with us for the show.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.